Today we are making my tomato balsamic bruschetta on crostini. It is loved by readers. It's perfect to bring to gatherings because it's naturally vegan, but it's so flavorful that everybody's gonna love it. Let's get started. Let's make the crostini. I've got a massive baguette here. We're gonna slice it up. You'll probably want around 16 to 18 slices, but it's a really flexible recipe. All right, let's get this out of the way. Over there. Now for the olive oil. So I like to just lightly drizzle olive oil on each side. You don't need too much, but just enough so that the slices are gonna toast up nicely. And then flip them over and we'll do the same. Okay, and the light drizzle is great because now we're just gonna swish them around the pan a little bit to spread it around. Of course, if you wanna be really professional, you could use a pastry brush to spread it around. But this is just so easy and you don't have to wash an extra dish. Now we'll pop them in the oven to get crispy on each side, so we'll flip them about halfway through. Now for the tomato mixture, we've got some cherry tomatoes here. You could also use grape if it's what you can find. Now, the key with the tomatoes, okay, hang on, what do I want to say? Now, using cherry tomatoes reduces the juiciness that's going to be in the mixture. If you have extra juicy tomatoes, I'd recommend either just taking out that like mushy seedy part so that your mixture isn't too juicy, or placing the chopped tomatoes over a strainer, and that will help that excess liquid drain out so that the tomato mixture isn't overly wet. Dice it up in a small dice and use a serrated knife because that will really cut through the skin of the tomato without smashing it. Okay, and then we'll continue until we've got about 2 cups. This is a really forgiving recipe, so you can absolutely, adjust it as needed. Next up, we're gonna chop the shallot. You'll need about a tablespoon, but again, this recipe is super forgiving, so add as much or as little as you like. And just make sure it's really finely diced so that it incorporates really well into the tomatoes. Whew. All right, it's getting to me. Oh. Okay, add the shallot to the tomatoes and then go wipe your eyes. All right, I'll be back. All right, I'm recovered from the shallot, so now it's time for garlic. Add about 3 garlic cloves to this recipe. You know I do love my garlic press, but I'm gonna finely chop them, mostly because my garlic press is dirty. Now, this recipe is my mom's, technically. She would make this all the time growing up for parties, and she's a huge fan of flavor. It's probably where I get it. Loves garlic. So yeah, there's 3 raw garlic bulbs in this bruschetta. But I think that's what makes it super freaking delicious. So chop it pretty fine. Now we're gonna add it in as well. And now for the basil. So I like to do about a 1/2 cup. Yes, this basil's looking a little sad. It didn't quite fare so well in my cup of water, but that's okay because we are just gonna slice it up and no one will be able to tell. Now to cut it into really fine strips, an easy way to do it is to pile the basil all together. So I'll do this a couple times since I have so much. Roll it up as well as you can, and then thinly slice it. Voila. All right, now the thing that is going to set your bruschetta apart from all the others is a super high quality balsamic vinegar. Trust me, don't buy the stuff at the grocery store. Not to sound pretentious, but it actually matters here because it adds the most flavor. So I recommend an aged balsamic. Like this one is an 18-year-old. It sounds kind of weird, I know. Even like a 25-year-old aged balsamic, it's truly like what's going to take your bruschetta over the top. So we'll add about 2 tablespoons. It should be nice and thick and like almost syrupy. And then on a similar note, a high quality olive oil will also just really make sure that it's all really great. And then a little salt, naturally. Then we'll stir it up, get everything soaked together. Oh, it's so pretty. Smells so good too. Okay, so I would recommend taking a little taste test. Just grab a tomato. And obviously the longer it sits, the more the flavor develops. It's great, it just needs a little more salt. But don't let it sit too long because those tomatoes are gonna get juicy and then it's gonna get really liquidy. Okay. All right, let's top the crostini. And then if you want to take a little drizzle of that balsamic that's pooling at the bottom, it'll soak into the bread. It's just so good. Oh my gosh, I cannot wait to dig in. This is seriously one of my favorite recipes and it smells so good. There's a lot of chewing. It's perfection. The bright tomatoes, all that basil, that high quality balsamic paired with the punchy shallot and garlic. While it's the perfect summer appetizer, it's also great around the holidays. There's really no wrong time to make it. Find the full recipe at forkinthekitchen.com, and I will see you back here next week for another meatless meal that everyone will love. Until then, happy eating. So good. Hold on. Are you ready?